Hello and welcome back to more Spongebob Squarepants Battle for Bikini Bottom, where last time we faced off against our second major boss battle of the game in Industrial Park, cleaned up the rest of the patches we missed along the way due to not having the cruise bubble, obtained the cruise bubble, and of course, we cleared out all the remaining spatulas in Bikini Bottom across the Chum Bucket and the Krusty Krab, and today, we're going to be beginning our adventures in the third part of Bikini Bottom by heading to my favorite level in the entire game, the Kelp Forest. Let's go. Let's do this thing.
Here we are in the Kelp Forest, an interesting area with many sights to see, for those that don't get hopelessly lost first.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Kelp Forest. With the best atmosphere, the best music, and best gameplay variety in the whole damn thing. But it's also pretty tough, so don't worry, I'm here to guide you along the way. This is regarded by many as the hardest level in the entire game. Fear not, I'm here to walk you through every step of the way. Alright, so before we do anything, there are two socks that we need to get in this area, both of which require very precise techniques to acquire. So, first thing you want to do, you'll notice that there is a stack of Thunder Tikis leading up to that tower, and on top of that is our first sock. But in order to reach it, we have to make our way up those Thunder Tikis. And the only way to do that is to jump on top of the Shush Tikis right here, but of course if you try to approach them, they disappear. So what you have to do is sneak up to the Tikis and then jump on top of it while sneaking, basically only using the camera to help you turn, because you really can't take your thumb off the left stick to adjust your movement, because if you do, then you'll stop sneaking. So you have to walk up to the up to the Shush Tikis, carefully jump on top of it, like this, and then immediately turn the camera to the right to jump on top of the Thunder Tiki. Then you can regain control of moving Spongebob. Basically, you only need to turn with the camera while you're still on top of the Shush Tikis. The second you get off the Shush Tiki and onto the Thunder Tiki, then you can stop sneaking and then just jump up as fast as you can to get to the top of the stack and acquire your first sock of the level, which you will find all the way up top. Okay, let's not fall off. All the way up top here, and you can grab it and it's ours. Now for our second sock, it's going to be down here. What we have to do is we have to knock out all of these Shush Tikis in one shot. So what you want to do is carefully drop off the ledge right around here. You want to try to get align yourself up with the T's as best as you possibly can. Then drop off the ledge, tap the B button. You don't want to just tap it and release it, but you also don't want to hold it down all the way, because obviously if you hold it all the way, you might go a little too hard too fast. So just tap and release, and then just let it go through the entire stack, and you'll get your sock. The goal here is you don't want to go too far, because then what'll happen is if you get too close to the Tikis, like this, or not like that, but like this, then what'll happen is you might cause one of the Shush Tikis to go away, and you don't want that to happen, because if it happens, you won't be able to get them all in one shot, and you need to knock out all the Tikis in a single shot to get the sock. If you miss even one, you won't get it, and you don't want it to not go by for too much. Like you don't want it to be too short of a roll, because if it's too short of a roll, then you might miss some Tikis in the opposite direction. It's, like you won't get enough of them. They might disappear before you get to the end of the line. So it might take some trial and error with precisely how long you want to hold the B button for, but the important thing is to make sure you're lined up. If you're lined up with the Tiki line as best as you can, then it's just a matter of making sure you get the appropriate amount of hold on the button for the appropriate amount of time. And if you fail, then you can just jump into the water and then jump in the water so that SpongeBob dies, and then that'll reset the level, and then you can try again. Once you do that, you'll get your second sock, and now we can finally talk to Mrs. Puff over by the campsite and learn about our main objective for our time in Kelp Forest.
Hi, Mrs. Puff. Driving class isn't out here today, is it?
No, SpongeBob. Why do you say that? Do you think we'd have class out here just to hide from you? How silly. I'm just, gathering twigs for the winter. Yes, that's it.
Oh, can I help? I have a merit badge in twig gathering.
Actually, you can help with something else. These robots showed up and scared all the students, campers off into the forest. Before the ranger arrives, someone needs to go out and find them.
I'll help you find them, Mrs. Puff. I'm the sponge for the job.
Thanks, SpongeBob. I'll make sure to give you a nice reward when you've found all of them.
So technically speaking, we could just make a break for the end of this area and then move on to the next section. But we don't want to do that because there's no obstacles between us and the door to the next part of the level. But if we do that, then we miss out on a whole lot of bonus collectibles. So we definitely want to make sure we hang around here a little bit longer. Also, I should probably explain this new enemy. These enemies will spin a wave of fire all around them, which can be easily dodged by just jumping over them. But the way to take them out is you have to defeat the bottom one and then bubble bash the remaining ones like this. If you only take out one of them, then what'll happen is I'll demonstrate with the one up ahead. Once we get to that point, if you only take out one of the enemies in the giant stack of tubes, I think the enemy's called Tubelet. What'll happen is they will regenerate themselves, like if I can get close enough, like this, and you'll see them. They'll spin around and then they'll regenerate and then they'll cause a massive explosion. And if you're anywhere near that, it's going to do a lot of damage. You want to make sure if you attack one, you got to attack all three. You can't just leave one or two alive. You got to get them all at once. And once you're over here, make sure you destroy the Duplicatotron so that you don't have to worry about any of these enemies for the rest of your time in this first part of the Kelp Forest. So then once they're all cleared out, the goal is we're going to try to clear out the enemies first so that we don't have to worry about them for later. That was a nice little teleportation you did there, buddy. But yeah, so once you clear all the enemies to your liking, then we can start doing some collectible gatherings. So the first thing you want to do is walk along this bridge, jump over the leaves, and the goal is to get to that platform down over there and then stand on it to raise the gate over across the water. And then we're going to use our cruise bubble to hit that button. Again, a bit of aim training for your cruise bubble. You want to make sure you try to hit that button just like so, which will cause a stack of leaves to appear back at the campsite, which will allow us to access one of the campers. And a little bit of a platforming challenge for Patrick. So let's go ahead and bounce all the way back here. And before we go bounce up there, you want to drop off the ledge right here to a bus stop we can use to switch to Patrick. Because like I said, this upcoming section is going to be a Patrick gauntlet. So you want to make sure you're playing as him so that you can actually make the best use out of this section. So jump up here to grab yourself the first camper. There are 6 campers hidden throughout the Kelp Forest. 3 in the first section, which is where we are right now. 2 in the second section, which is where we're going to be heading to for the next section, for the next part of the video. And then for the last camper is going to be hiding in the third part of the Kelp Forest, which we're going to be going to in the next episode. But for now, what you want to do is you want to pick up this watermelon. And then, actually, you know what? Never mind. We're okay. Didn't want to jump up here. We're gonna do this first. What we're gonna do is we're gonna jump back here and head over to this section. We can do this section as Patrick. So we're gonna do it now as him. The goal here is you want to body slam onto or belly flop onto this button to cause a series of leaves to extend outward. And basically, we're going for a camper. You can see the second camper up near that blue shiny object on top of that tower in the distance. That's where we're headed, is to get that to rescue that camper. So like I said, 3 campers in this section, 2 in the next section, and then 1 in the final part of, or not the final, but the third part of Kelp Forest, which we're going to be heading to in the next episode. So the goal for this episode is, like I said, we're gonna be clearing out this section 100%, then clearing out the next section 100%, and then that'll be it until the next time. But this is pretty simple. You just want to make sure you bounce on all the buttons and bounce up the leaves to grab yourself the camper like so. And then we're going to go ahead and jump off here so that we can loop back around to where we were previously, courtesy of this teleport box, which will take us back to camp. So long as you activate the teleport box from earlier, it'll take us right back here. And then we can not jump in the water. I was aiming for the leaf there. Game, thank you very much. Bounce back up to the top, and now we're going to actually go on the Patrick gauntlet by picking up the watermelon and using it to launch ourselves across the gap like so. And now you want to pick up the watermelon, bounce over here, completely ignore that button, drop yourself down to this ledge, drop onto the teeter-totter, and use the watermelon to launch yourself across the gap. Once again, you got a sharp one here, so that's going to be nice. Moving forward. Now you gotta be quick with this one. Pick up the watermelon, immediately bounce on the leaf to get yourself up to the top of this ledge. Keep moving, gotta go super fast here because we gotta get this watermelon a long ways away. Go to the edge of the platform, throw it to the other side, bounce yourself across, pick it up, and then quickly launch yourself over with the teeter-totter to land safely here and collect or rescue the third and final camper of the section. Now, as you saw, that we cut that pretty close with the time which it was going to take the watermelon to wilt away, because that's a long distance you have to travel with the watermelon before it'll disappear. So you got to move fast to make sure you get here in time. There's a lot of quick movements to do. The thing that might trip you up is getting the watermelon across the gap. You just want to go as far to the edge as possible, and then throw it across, and then just jump across yourself, and then you can use the teeter-totters to get yourself along the rest of the way. Anyway, before you leave here, you want to drop yourself down off this ledge and pick up the sock waiting for you right here, and that will be the third and final sock of this area, as well as the final thing we actually have to do in this area. That's all the campers, all the spatulas, and all the socks, so now we can just, not all the spatulas, the last spatula is right here. But now we have everything done. We can drop off the ledge, grab the spatula right here, and then proceed through these gates to head into the Kelp Swamp. Alright, welcome to the Kelp Swamp. Now, the game wants you to bounce across those leaves and go talk to Mr. Krabs, but we're going to do this in a slightly non-linear order. So what we're going to do instead is bounce off this first leaf, and then carefully bounce around the corner using the camera to your advantage, like this, so that you'll land on the ledge. Like I said previously, you always want to turn with the camera, so that you turn around this little ledge right here with the camera, so that you can make it across safely. And you want to hit this button right here. That'll be very important for helping us get one of the tikis that we need for later. Then just simply bounce off this leaf to get yourself up here and collect our sock, as well as taking out the G-Love in the process. And then we can move along a little way by bouncing ourselves down here, picking up the watermelon that you'll find, or the Thunder Tiki, either way works, to toss either the Thunder Tiki or the watermelon at the Sleepy Time robot to take them out, and you'll find your fourth camper of the area right back here. There's going to be one on each side of the Kelp Swamp, one here, and one all the way over in that direction that I'm facing right now. We're going to go get that camper later. For now, you want to feed this cam 2,600 shiny objects to open up the gateway forward and proceed onward to this section. So the idea here is that we're trying to clear out this entire section first, and then we will be able to take out the part over there. So that didn't really make sense. Basically, the idea of the section is to we're trying to get 3 tikis onto 3 specific platforms so that we can get out of the area. And we're doing a sweep through here first, just so we can get this tiki out of the way and we don't have to do any major backtracking later. Is the main gist of why we're doing this the way that we are. So you want to jump over here. Oh, I didn't really explain it there, but those leaves, that leaf jump I made is really tough. You want to make sure that you saw me kind of backtrack a little bit, because the reason why is because I wanted to make sure I was as close to the edge of the leaf as possible, so I could actually guarantee I made the jump. So again, you want to wait until you're as close to the edge of the leaf as possible, and then you want to jump off. You don't want to try to... Oh dear, that was close. You don't want to try to jump until you're absolutely certain that you are as close to the edge of that leaf as possible, to make sure you don't miss the jump. And then we're going to go around here this way, because there's a sock waiting for us up on top of those ledges around here. Again, these leaf jumps pretty tough, because there's not a lot of room for error. If you don't jump precisely at the edge of that thing, you're probably not going to make the jump. So you got to be very precise with your movements. Anyway, here's a sock. You want to get this, then bounce yourself back over to where the watermelon is. Don't try to go for this. Don't try to go for this platform. You want to try to go for the one with the watermelon, jumping from that leaf. And now what we can do is make our way back towards the center. This is where we're heading now, towards the area that we were going to go, or that the game wanted us to go to initially. But we took a little bit of a shortcut, or not a shortcut, but we kind of went words are hard, a non-linear way, so that we could do this in a slightly better order. So then just bounce up here, take out the Duplicatotron right here, right now, so that we don't have to worry about it. This is another major reason why we came up here first, so that we don't have to deal with the Duplicatotron for the rest of our time in this level. And pick up the Tiki down here and throw it onto one of those platforms. It does not matter which one. Just pick any one that you want. Make sure you destroy this robot right here so it doesn't bother you. Then hop up here to pick up this Tiki and drop off. Again, place it on any button you want. And then to finish the challenge, you want to bounce around this corner with the leaves, land here, pick up this Tiki. This is very important. Don't try to make the jump back to the mainland. Just jump on the leaf. Wait till you're as close to the edge as possible. Aim for the second leaf down here. Then use this leaf to bounce up here and place it on whatever button does not have a Tiki to complete the challenge. That is about the most efficient way you could possibly do this without the use of exploits, because the way you're supposed to do this is you're supposed to do this coming here first, and then looping yourself around through here, and then coming back around this way through a challenge, a platform challenge down here, and then looping around this direction to get ourselves the Tiki. The reason I did it in this order is so that we can take out the Duplicatotron early, and then just kind of clear the area, just so that we don't have to worry about any enemies. And also because this upcoming challenge could lead to our death if we screw it up. So I kind of wanted to make sure we just get all the Tikis here done, so that we don't have to worry about them. Because if you mess anything up, the Tikis will reset and the Duplicatotron will respawn. So I just want to get this all out of the way early, so that we have this. The leaves are there. It's permanently there. It's not going to disappear. We have this, and it's done. So now we can just focus on cleaning up all the miscellaneous stuff. So what you want to do is switch to Spongebob, actually, and then come to the edge of this platform, and then use your cruise bubble to take out a Sleepy Time robot that you can't see right now, but it spawns in over here. Yeah, it's slightly outside the render distance, but it is there. You just sort of use your cruise bubble to take it out early, so that we don't have to worry about it as Patrick, and switch back to Patrick, and jump ourselves across these leaves to go proceed on to the rest of the level. We only have one more camper to find, as you may recall me mentioning earlier, as well as one more spatula to collect. And then we can go move on to the third part of the Kelp Forest. Let's go ahead again, wait for as long as possible until you get to the very edge of these leaves, and then once you take care of that, you should be able to make the jump. So yeah, just wait till you're at the edge of the leaves so that you can make the jump across. Your 5th camper of the level is going to be waiting for you over here. Let's go ahead and rescue him. Defeat the ARF along the way if you so choose to. Completely optional, but, you know, you can if you want to. Did you not pick that up, Patrick? There we go. But most importantly, we need to get our final spatula, and to do that, we need to go down here. Now, there's a very specific order to this. Hit the button before freezing the lake, because we're gonna open up a cage in the distance and then freeze the lake so we can skate across the lake and get the golden spatula. Do not freeze the lake first, because pressing the button leads you into a camera animation. So if you were to freeze the lake first, then the timer on how long the lake stays frozen for would be counted down and wasted in the time that you have to sit through the animation. So do the animation first, so that you have as much time, because the timer for the lake being frozen is shorter than that of the cage being open. So you want to get as much time on the frozen lake as you possibly can. Then once you get the spatula, you can go ahead and refreeze the lake. Can you pick it up, please, Patrick? There we go. Refreeze the lake, and then skate your way back over to where we were a second ago. Then we're going to bounce our way back to the main area, and that will be it for the Kelp Swamp. And this is another reason why I wanted to do it in this order, because there's a shortcut that takes you directly back to the main part of Kelp Swamp right here. You can just bounce up this leaf, and then bounce up the leaves that we took over here to make our way back to the main platform, and that is the Kelp Swamp cleared out, so that we don't have to, instead of having to go around the long way, we can just take the shortcut. I don't know. This is just the most efficient way that I like to do the Kelp Forest, and just to kind of get things done in as quick of a manner as I possibly can. So that's how I like to go about doing things. And I think it works pretty well. It's a pretty, like I said, I hate to overuse the word, but it's just a very efficient way to get through the Kelp Swamp, because there's a lot of stuff to do, a lot of different areas you have to go to back and forth to clear them out, and then that's just a path that gets you through it in a nice clean order without having to do any major backtracking or repeating sections that you would have had to otherwise repeat. But anyway, that's a Kelp Swamp cleared out. We have 5 of the 7 socks, and we've gotten all the spatulas that we can up until this point. Now all we have to do is head inside the Kelp Caves, and then after the Kelp Caves, we'll have one more thing to do over on that side of the Kelp Forest, both of which will be taken care of in the next episode. So that'll be it for now. Thanks for watching. Stay tuned for the next episode. Catch you all tomorrow for some more Spongebob Squarepants Battle for Bikini Bottom. Goodbye!